This is New Orleans. Who is it? Who is it? This is New Orleans.
All right, let's pivot. This is the next article right here. Jordyn Tyson Pro Day Saints among teams scouting the Arizona State wide receiver. Y'all hit that like button and that sub button notification bell as well as we continue on Saints Wire on the Scoop. Shout out to Sigler. 18 NFL teams made the trip to Arizona State to watch wide receiver Jordyn Tyson run routes and catch passes this past Friday. Shout out to Ross, who was on the Scoop as well. Last season's hamstring injury caused him to miss 3 games and hold out on the drills at the NFL Combine, plus the Sun Devils Pro Day due to the abundance of caution. Now scouts, coaches, and personnel execs finally got a chance to see him. The group included 2 general managers, with both Giants GM Joe Schoen holding the 5th overall pick and Miami Dolphins counterpart John Eric Sullivan picking at 11. So while there's a chance Tyson won't make it to the Saints at number 8, it's worth noting he's been on the radar for a while. In addition to live scouting Arizona State's season opener, the Saints made multiple check-ins to their ASU practice sessions from August to October. He was also one of the 30 prospects who made a formal visit to the team facility in Metairie. It has been said that he has a lot of supporters in the building, and their persistent interest seem to support it. ESPN's Pete Thamel quoted one source who saw what he needed from Tyson's workout. He showed the twitch, explosiveness, leaping ability. We all saw it in the fall. He showed he's healthy and still explosive, which is all he needed to do. There's a possibility Tyson could be the first wide receiver off the board in next week 2026 NFL draft, possibly teaming up with Malik Neighbors and Jackson Dart with the Giants. So that's been a major problem with Jordyn, man. Jordyn Tyson has been his health. That's been the questions. He has the speed, the temperament, aggressively ripping old 50-50 balls down out of the air. But the health issue has been big. And I think out of another report that I was watching or seeing, rather, read, was saying that out of all of the, I think he had like 30 catches or attempts, he dropped 1 pass out of like 30 or so catches or something like that, or attempts. 1 pass. So, I mean, the guy is a baller, 6'3", you say 6'2" plus, but kind of 6'3", you're going to put him in shoes, 6'3", 200 plus. And he was they gave him a scouting combine grade of 6.43, will become good starter within 2 years. If you look at Jordyn Tyson's, let me see if I can get his card up here, fam, so y'all can see it full. Right here, talk about with him. A lot of people are familiar, and we talked about Jordyn Tyson before on the broadcast. We made mention that his numbers are off the chain. If you go all the way back to his season in Colorado, when he was averaging 21 yards per catch on 4 touchdowns, he had the ACL, the MCL, and the PCL that happened in 2022. Came back in 2023, played 3 games as a reserve. In 24, 3rd-team AP All-American, 1st-team All-Big 12 Conference, Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the year. Led team with 75 grabs, over 1,100 yards. He averaged almost 15 yards per catch. He had 10 receiving touchdowns, and he started 12 games. Missed the Big 12 championship game and the college football playoff quarterfinals after breaking his collarbone. ACL, MCL, PCL, collarbone broken. And then last year, 3rd-team AP All-American, 1st-team All-Big 12, led team with 60-plus catches, 700-plus yards, almost 12 yards per catch, 8 receiving touchdowns, started 9 games, missing 4 with separate hamstring issues. So you can see throughout his career, it's these little nagging issues that pop up, and that is what they're looking at. So at the very least, he might not be a top 10 pick, but at the very least, he'll be in the first round somewhere. I don't see him, if he's totally healthy, I don't see a talent as good as him falling out of the first round. I don't even see him getting past middle of the first round, even if people have injuries concerns. If he's healthy now, they're gonna select him. And this is the overview by Lance Zierlein in the NFL. He talked about learning from the Super Bowl MVP Haynes Ward helped unlock Tyson's production and elevated his stock. He added size and improved his route running over the last 2 years, showing he can align at all three of the receiver spots. He occasionally rushes the route, but has short area quickness and contested catch toughness to find chain moving grabs in high leverage moments. He's not a blazer, but has enough speed to work down the field. Also, he has the ball skills and body control to win above the rim with timing on 50-50 throws. Scouts say he puts in the time to absorb knowledge and hone his craft. A history of injuries might explain inconsistent competitiveness as a run blocker in 2025. The wiring, versatility, and finishing talent point to a wide receiver one ceiling. His strengths: able to play every receiver spot on the field, plays with ideal suddenness, cut quickness underneath, routes with smooth and manipulate to induce leverage. Stems suddenly routes subtly, leaving man coverage temporarily stranded. Digs hard on post to gain ground before looking for the ball. Uses offhand to maintain leads and landing zones down the sideline. Highly competitive to hog the catch space and win contested catches. Ball skills feature impeccable body control and high point timing. Showed willingness in 2024 to put hat on hat as a run blocker. Coached by former NFL standout Haynes Ward at Arizona State. His weaknesses: focus drops were an issue in 24, 2 years ago, not in 25. Can be impatient and hurry his route at times. Loses momentum on the in-breaking routes because of the inefficient footwork. He's cleaned that up some degree. Long speed and play strength are average. I wouldn't say that. Missed games in every season. He did that. Suffered knee in 22, collarbone in 24, hamstrings in 25. He's healthy now. So the biggest setback to Jordyn Tyson's game is obviously his health, his concern for health. But this is what the sources said. He injured both hamstrings in the Texas Tech game, but still played through it, and then single-handedly closed the game out for them. He wouldn't check out. So he got heart. Despite his body failing on him, he still had the heart to stay in and really make it. And that's why some people at some point was considering Jordyn Tyson as the best wide receiver in the draft. But it's just the fact that the injuries kind of showed up right there. And at one point, Jordyn Tyson and Carnell Tate were neck and neck in terms of who would be considered as the top receivers. But if Jordyn Tyson's 100% healthy, he does fit a number of spots. The Saints are going to, and listen, the Saints are doing their due diligence on both of these guys, because realistically, it does fit a position of need. It does fit that. You know, you might have a position where you see, it does fit a position. Let's just say that, because the reality is that the Saints could use some help at the wide receiver position. It might not be totally, they might not be totally where they want to be in terms of the wide receiver position. But the reality is, fam, all I can say about it is the reality is the Saints have to solve and we know they got Jalen Polk on the team and all these. They got a lot of talented wide receivers, but the point of it is, if Chris Olave goes down with injuries, or if the Saints can't work out a long-term solution with Chris Olave, what would then be the next move for the black and gold? You see what I'm saying? What would then be the next move for the team? Would they then, go with some of these other guys? We know some of these other guys that we have on the team right now. Some of these guys are not, they're not in a position where you would look at them and say, yeah, they could take over the team and we not have a problem. But if you look at some of the draft needs for the New Orleans Saints, the top needs some people see as wide receiver, and you can interchange them. Some say edge rusher, wide receiver, defensive tackle, center, and they got guards, throw a guard in there, and then linebacker. You don't see running back or cornerback in there. Well, you do see some of them do have the cornerback situation in there. They got cornerback, but usually the positions of needs go in no particular order: defensive edge rusher, wide receiver, and cornerback. And then you fill in like offensive guard or center or linebacker, this sort of stuff. But it usually goes those three in no particular order, whether it's edge rusher, wide receiver, or cornerback. So the Saints doing due diligence on all of these players. We talked about them already looking at Bain. We talked about them looking at Jordyn Tyson. We talked about them looking at Cornell Tate. We talked about them looking at Mansour Delane. We talked about, so it's different things. So what the Saints are pretty much doing is setting themselves up to be prepared to make the right choice next week when they're on the clock at number 8. So that's what it is. So Jordyn Tyson, Saints, one of teams looking at them and just being prepared, man. You never know what will be the move. But if Jordyn Tyson's healthy, I mean, he would be an awesome compliment for a guy like Chris Olave. I ain't gonna lie to you. He would be a really solid compliment, even though I like Tate. But I'm saying if Jordyn Tyson is the guy, he would be a really solid compliment with speed and his physicality and 50-50 balls, his attitude. It's just all those injuries. It would be a point of concern for the Saints, and they're doing their due diligence on this particular player.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that?
Hey, New Orleans! Whether you're catching up on Saints news at Jackson Square, checking Pelicans scores in the Garden District, or staying updated on LSU while grabbing coffee in the French Quarter, there's one place that keeps you connected to everything that matters in our city. From Bourbon Street to the Superdome, from Preservation Hall to the Riverfront, New Orleanians are staying in the know with the WhoDatDaily.com, your daily source for Saints, Pelicans, LSU, and all the sports, music, and culture that makes our city special. At work downtown, at a game in the Dome, or just relaxing by the Mississippi, wherever life takes you in the Big Easy, you can stay connected. Because when you're from New Orleans, you don't just live here. You stay in the NO. That's stay in the know. Visit the WhoDatDaily.com and never miss what matters most to Who Dat Nation.
Welcome to the Pro Shop, where we create authentic NOLA-inspired clothing for men, women, and children. From Saints jerseys to Pelicans gear, everything's crafted right here in New Orleans. Whether you're shopping the Pro Shop, the Pel Shop, or the Pro Shop Kids, we've got your whole family covered with genuine merchandise that represents our city's spirit. Check for links in the description section below or in the chat.